In this tutorial, I'm going to condense my 15 years of experience into 1 hour. You will learn how to do keyword research, structure your campaigns for maximum efficiency, how to set up conversion tracking, optimize campaigns, and much more. You're using Google Ads to make money on your ads. This is your primary goal. You spend $1 and you need to get at least the same amount back and preferably more. Don't focus on clicks, impressions, ad position, and other metrics. You need actions that are valuable to your business, and they are called conversions. Focus on conversions. A conversion can be anything that you deem valuable. It could be a phone call, registration, email subscriber, even click on a button if it is an important button and there's no other conversions you are able to track, and of course a sale. We're going to talk more about conversions a bit more later. A conversion is the most important thing in your account. Keyword research. Google Ads are based on searches. People have to search for certain keywords or phrases for your ads to appear. We will look at 3 ways to find keywords: your business, keyword planner, and search term report. When picking keywords to bid on, you have to make sure that someone is searching for them on Google. On one side, you have very specific keywords, and on the other side, very broad ones. For example, you have the keyword brown leather men's shoes with white shoelaces on sale today. This is quite a specific keyword, and I'm not even sure if someone searched for that specific keyword. On the other side, you have just the keyword shoes, which is quite broad. I'm not sure what people are searching for. So we have very broad and too specific. Now, you don't want to be on either side. You want to be somewhere here, closer to specific keywords, because you have a limited budget. You don't want to go after the broad ones because it will require a lot bigger budget. There's more competition and there might be fewer conversions. For example, how to define relevancy of the keywords to your business. If you sell just iPhone 15 cases, your keywords should evolve around that theme. iPhone 15 cases, right? So you can have iPhone 15 cases, iPhone 15 leather cases, black iPhone cases, iPhone 15 cases, cute iPhone 15 cases, and similar keywords that represent common theme. These keywords here are not relevant, although they might seem relevant, but they're not. iPhone cases is just too broad. You don't know which model they search for. iPhone 13 cases, again, wrong model. Black iPhone cases and cute iPhone cases, again, there's no model specified, which means that they're broader than what you have to offer. So all your keywords, if you just sell iPhone 15 cases, your keywords have to evolve around this theme. It's not only about how similar you think the keywords are, it's about what you have to offer. And that's the key. So this is where you look at your business, and this is where you find your keywords first. You know what you sell, you know what you offer. You're the one who has to list the keywords that you think people might search for, right? So you can have iPhone 50 cases, we talked about. If you do have a flower delivery in a state, a city, or neighborhood, you can start with keywords like flower delivery in New York or Manhattan or Queens. It depends how large or small your business is. Or you can have a local gym, which is probably, gym in Brooklyn or fitness club in Brooklyn. Obviously, you don't bid on the keyword just gym or gym in New York. It will be too broad because people will, if they will look for the gym, they'll probably look for the gym around their area. No one will travel hundreds of miles to go to your gym. Well, unless it's very, very special. But you have to think in not only what you have to offer, but will the people searching for that keyword convert on your website, meaning buy from you or order services from you. You don't want just traffic. You want the traffic that has the highest chance to convert. I have a simple template in Google Sheets that I will share below the video. So you can use that to list all your keywords. So you can use that template or basically use whatever you feel comfortable with. Once you have the list of your keywords, the initial keywords, you need to run them through Keyword Planner. Keyword Planner is a free Google Ads tool. You can find it within the account as soon as you sign up. If you already did, you can find it in the account. If not, you will find it when you sign up. It helps you to find additional keywords. It helps you to see if the keywords have search volume, meaning that if people search for those keywords, and it shows you seasonal trends. So you can see which keywords go up and go down. It shows you average cost per click and competition. Now, you have to take the whole thing that it shows with a grain of salt. It is just to understand what you might expect. Also, if you're just starting out, you don't have any spend in the account, you will not see the exact volume. You will see ranges from like 100 to from 1 to 10 or 10 to 100 and so on and so forth. In the account, you can find the Keyword Planner under Tools. If you just click on Tools, it will take you immediately into the Keyword Planner, and then you have 2 options. The first option is discover new keywords, and the second is get the search volume forecast. Let's use the second one first, get the search volume of keywords. So we have our keywords. For example, we can take gym keywords, right? Gym near me, and similar, we can paste them here, and what we'll get is we'll get the search volume of these keywords in a specific area. You have to change the area. For example, Los Angeles, right? This is the city. We change the location. Oops, I forgot to remove this one. So we have this amount of searches. So this particular option shows you just the search volume of your keywords that you've pasted in. So we see that the gym near me has the most searches, and then there's little searches for the rest of the keywords. So this is good when you want to find out the search volume of the keywords you already have in your Google Sheets or elsewhere. So let's decode what we see here. Now, first of all, you see the common general trend of all the keywords that you have right here. So you have the months, you have the search volume, and you can see when it spikes. So obviously we have gym, so it does spike in June, sort of the summer, and another spike is in January, which is quite common, right? And then we have the column. So this is your average monthly searches for that specific keyword, and this is 3 months change and year-over-year change, which helps you understand whether the keyword is going down or up. The competition is expressed in low, medium, or high. This doesn't give you a lot of information, but does help you understand what is waiting for you. So if the competition is low, it's good for you because most likely you'll pay a little bit less for a click. The ad impression share is based on the ads in your account. So if you have that keyword in the account, it will show you the number here, a percentage. If you don't, then there's nothing here, as you can see. Top of page bid and top of page high range. So these are the two bids, sort of low and high range. This is also not 100% accurate. So as soon as you start advertising, these numbers can be a bit different because it depends on your website, on your keywords, on your ads, on your ad rank, and a bunch of other factors. But it's a good indication of what you might expect. I usually go with the high range just to be on the conservative side, especially if promising something for a client. I don't want to overpromise saying that, hey, it's going to be, $1 a click, and then for some reason it's free. So it's really important to set the expectations correctly. And if you're just doing Google Ads for yourself, you might say, okay, so I'm not going to pay less than $1, maybe $2, but most likely I will pay more, right? Hopefully not more than $6 or $7. So this is again to have some expectations before you start. If we go back to the first option, discovering the keywords, and this is where you can discover more keywords. Just don't forget to change the location and language settings. Again, we choose the Los Angeles and we paste our keywords. So this part of the keyword tool will give you more keyword options because this is where you want to find additional keywords. So here you see again your keywords that you've pasted in with the same amount of numbers. The columns are also the same, so we're not going to address them again. But below, you have keyword ideas where you can see a bunch of different keywords that you may use as well. So this is a really good source because here you can see Planet Fitness near me. So this could be a great negative keyword because Planet Fitness is a brand, well, as far as I know. And then there's, boxing classes, which also might match your keywords if you have them in broad. So this again could be a negative keyword. And then you have, fitness near me, gym memberships near me, although it's not a lot of searches, but still a good keyword. And then there's a lot of keywords that Google suggests you based on your input keywords. So this is a really good source of thinking about what else to add into account, what keywords I should bid on. But you still have to look at keywords that relate to what you have rather than just bidding on what Google suggests. So keep that in mind. Before we continue on to Search Term Report, the third source of the keywords, let's take a small detour and talk about keyword match types. Now, Google has 3 match types: broad, phrase, and exact. Let's start with exact match. So if you take the keyword furniture store and you have it in exact match, your ads might appear if someone searched for furniture store, obviously the keyword that you have, and the keyword home furnishing shop, which is quite closely related to your main keyword or the keyword that you have in account. So that is the exact match. Google will show your ads that have the same meaning as your keyword. This is where it gets tricky because sometimes that meaning is not entirely aligned with the keyword that you have. So that's why I have Search Term Report, and we'll talk about in a minute, where you can see the exact searches where people come in and you can either include them or exclude them. But this is like the most specific match type, and usually if you have small budget, I recommend starting with exact match type because you control the keywords and the clicks a lot better than with other match types. Now, phrase match is sort of in between. A phrase match will show ads for keywords that include the meaning of your keyword. So for example, with the furniture store, you might get clicks from the keywords like cheap furniture stores, living room furniture deals, or what store is the best place to find a bedroom dresser. Now, if these keywords match your business, meaning that people can find something on your site, then it's fine. If not, then you should exclude them. So this is the phrase match. It is broader than exact match. It's still used, but it's not as popular, because if you do want to go broader, you usually use broad match with smart bidding, where the Google algorithm and AI works together to produce the results. However, you can use phrase match, but as I said, I recommend using exact match only at the start. Broad match is really, really broad. As you can see, if you have keyword furniture store, it will match you on home decor or cream colored leather sectional. But these keywords are further from your main keyword furniture store, although they are kind of similar, but they're not, right? Home decor is a broad category on itself, and cream colored leather sectional is something that you might not have on your website at all. So this is really broad, so Google just takes the keyword and runs wild with it. So you have to be really careful. I'm not recommending using that match type without conversions and smart automated bidding. Otherwise, if you don't control it, if you go on just clicks or maximize clicks, you'll get a lot of traffic with a lot of different keywords, and most of them will not be related to your business. So thread carefully. Start with exact match. So now that we know there are match types, we can go into the third source of keywords, which is search term report. Now, if you haven't run your ads, you won't see anything because this report needs clicks, right? So it needs clicks. It needs a campaign to run for a while. For how long, it depends on you. You can come back to the report when you have 20, 30, 50 clicks, or 100, depends on your business and how fast you accumulate clicks. But in general, once you're in the account, you go into campaign, your ad group, and your keyword. You select a specific keyword, and then this menu appears, and then you click on search terms. Now what it shows, since my keyword was phrase match, but even if it was exact match, it shows how exactly people entered into Google when my ad was shown and clicked, right? So they call it search terms. So as I said, I have AI ads as a phrase match. So additionally, Google thought it's a good idea to show my ad with these keywords: AI ad generator free, ad maker AI, ad creative, AI ad creator free, and a bunch of other keywords. And you see clicks, impressions, CTR, and the rest of the statistics, even conversions. So this is where you can find additional keywords. So as soon as your campaigns start running, you'll start receiving clicks. Visit this report to see what kind of search terms people are searching for, and do these terms relate to your business or not. If they do, you can add them to your ad group if you want to control the bids, right? If you want to increase the bids for specific keyword, because your current keyword will still match those search terms anyway, so you don't have to do anything if you're not changing anything, right? But if you do want to increase the bids for a specific keyword, you have to add it into ad group and then change it there. However, you can also exclude keywords. Like if you see the keywords that are not related to your business, just select them, and you will see an additional menu appears where you can add them as negative keywords, which means that Google will not show your ads when this exact search term or a similar search term will be entered. Now, when you have your keyword list, it's time to work them, to make them ready for your campaign structure and ready for uploading into account. Before we do that, let's talk about how the whole account structure looks like, right? You have an account, you have Google Ads account where you can run a bunch of different campaign types. You have your search, display, performance max, shopping, and remarketing, app campaigns, and a bunch of other stuff. We're talking about search campaigns right here because these are usually the most profitable ones. So you have your account and you have your campaigns. You have a lot of campaigns in the account, and you create ad groups within your campaigns. And within ad groups, you have ads and keywords. So this is how the account is structured. You don't have to create many campaigns. Usually one or two campaigns with a small budget is enough. And if we're talking about $1,000 a month, usually it's just one campaign. But you can create many ad groups within that campaign that differentiates the product or the service or anything else, right? And write specific ads to them. We'll talk in a minute about that. So this is an example of the previously mentioned iPhone cases campaign, right? So you have your campaign. On the campaign level, you have your location, bidding strategy, and daily budget. The budget is set on a campaign level as a daily budget. So just multiply it by 30 and you'll get your total budget, or just divide it by 30 and you'll get your daily budget. So if I had only iPhone 15 cases, or let's say iPhone 14, 15, and 16 cases, I would use a similar structure, right? I'll have one campaign that is just iPhone cases. The name of campaign doesn't matter. It's just for you. It does not impact performance. It is just for you to understand what is within the campaign. So it's there just for you. But please don't name the campaign number 1 or campaign number 2. It's just hard to get around on the account. Additionally, I may have another campaign which I call brand campaign, where my all brand keywords are located. Like if you're older business, even if you're small business, there definitely will be people searching for your brand. So this is where you add your brand keywords. It could be just the main name, or it could be your store name or gym name or whatever, right? So there most likely will be people searching for that phrase. And when people enter those keywords, it's best that your ad is the first one. So you have a separate campaign for brand, you have brand brand keywords, and that is that, right? For your iPhone cases, we'll have three different ad groups because we have three different models. So this is how I would separate, right? We have a dedicated ad group for iPhone 14, 15, and 16, and then I have keywords like iPhone 14 cases or durable iPhone 14 cases. The same goes for 15 and 16. And the common denominator is the model itself, right? It's 14, 15, 16. That's how I differentiate the ad groups, and that's how I write ads specifically for those ad groups or those keywords. So this will be my setup. I would go from exact match and I would go through manual CPC and write one ad, which is mandatory anyway. I don't have to write two ads with a smaller account because it's not needed. Now the keywords, as we talked about, they might be very broad, very generic, right? Hard to understand what users want, right? If we take the keyword gym, it's really hard to understand what they mean by that. What do they want, right? But if we take the keyword like 24/7 fitness club with showers near me, that's really specific. It also has features, right? So someone wants constantly opened fitness club with showers near his or her location, right? So this is quite specific one. So this actually goes for all of the keywords, right? If you take clothing, you have shirt, which is, at the bottom of the pyramid. I call it the pyramid technique. It is at the bottom of the pyramid because it's the broadest. Shirt is the broadest meaning of that. And then you have a specific keyword like women's white DNG shirt. It has a color and it has a brand in it. It might be even more specific, but in this case, the keywords on top has the high intent and usually lower search volume. The high intent means that people searching for those keywords will probably have higher conversion rate. They want something specifically, so there is a bigger chance that they will buy something from you, order something from you, or use your service. That's why they entered really specific keywords. The people who entered shirt or at the bottom of the pyramid, they have low intent, but they do have high search volume. So keywords like shirt, a lot of people might enter keyword shirt, but no one knows exactly what they want, so their willingness to buy or commit is quite low because maybe they're just researching stuff, so not ready to buy. So if you bid on those keywords, you get a lot of clicks, but not necessarily conversions or sales. So you just spend the budget without getting anything back. So you have to make sure where you are in the pyramid, and you have to go for really high intent keywords. Even though they have low search volume, I said at the beginning, each click counts. So we have to do the same with keywords in our Excel sheet or elsewhere. So we have a bunch of keywords, right? In this course, we only looked at your business and keyword planner, but you can also look at AI and your competitors as well. But we need to sort the keywords as we talked about using the pyramid method, right? So we have a bunch of keywords like phone cases, right? So you have the keywords, you have the search volume, and now we rearrange them to go from the specific ones to the broad ones. And this is what you get. You can also note any negative keywords that you think might be good ones to add to your campaigns. This is what we have, right? We have iPhone cases, basically all the cases, all the model, like iPhone plus model keywords and cases. So this is, 14, 15, 13, whatever, if you have those. So these are the most specific ones in our case. If we look at only these keywords, these are the most specific ones, right? So it has model, it has iPhone, it has cases. And this is the search volume. And then after that, we have just iPhone cases. This is a broader one because it doesn't have the model specified. No, this is the same one, cheap phone cases. This doesn't have iPhone in the phrase. This one doesn't have iPhone. This one doesn't have iPhone, and this one doesn't have iPhone as well. And this is a lot broader because it sort of says it's, any phone cases. So this is how it looks. And we can see that some of the themes forming in, right? And we can see that if we move on to grouping the keywords, we can see that we can group by the model. So if we talk about the structure, we can have one campaign that is dedicated to iPhone cases. It might be the only campaign if you just sell iPhone cases, but then we can use models, right? We have iPhone 14, 15, and maybe general. So you focus one group just on the iPhone 14 cases, now the second group in the same campaign, iPhone 15, and so on and so forth, depending on how many model cases you have. So this ad group cannot have any other keywords except for iPhone 14 cases. It can be some variations, it can be colors, material, or something similar, but not anything else. Same goes for this ad group. Now the general keyword, which I call like just iPhone cases or custom iPhone cases or design iPhone cases, this is in a separate ad group because in this case we don't know what the model is. So the ads will be general. Right, talking about iPhone cases in general. The landing pages probably be just the category of all the iPhone cases. Here, the landing page will be specifically the iPhone 15 case category. So this is how you structure it, and you have to go through all the keywords that you listed. So sometimes it'll be 1 or 2 ad groups, it might be 5 or 10 ad groups. It doesn't matter at this point. The key here is to group them by a common denominator, right? Like a closely tied theme of keywords in one ad group because you'll have to write ads and pick a landing pages for these specific keywords. Now let's talk about responsive search ads. Many of you have seen how the ads look in Google because you have searched something and you probably noticed the small sponsored word near some of the ads on top and maybe below the page, at the end of the page. These search ads are not in a constant format. So you see here you have a few headlines, description, and then you have site links. Now this ad doesn't have the site links, just the headlines and descriptions. Now this depends on a lot of factors. So most of the part is quality score and ad rank, which we're not gonna get into it, but that's okay as long as you're getting impression, as long as you're getting clicks, and as long as you're getting conversions. The main job of your ad is to attract attention, as with any ads, get a click, and while doing it, set expectations for the user, what they might see on your landing page. So your landing page, your ads, and your keywords have to be related. If someone searches for a specific thing, they have to see that the ad corresponds, relates, has that keyword within the ad somehow, either directly the keyword or a combination of keywords or a similar keyword in the ad. And then once they click the ad, they land on the landing page where again they know that they landed in the correct place because they read the ad, they entered the keyword, everything is related, everything is directly connected. This is how you make sure the person who clicked does not leave the website immediately. The reason for that is because there is a limited amount of symbols you can use while writing your ad. So the ad consists of 3 headlines and 2 descriptions. That's it. Now each headline can be a maximum length of 30 symbols and description of 90 symbols. So basically you have a few phrases in 2 sentences to make users notice your ads, read through it to understand what awaits on the landing page and click, right? So this is big job for such a small ad. Now you can have in the account, well, when creating ads, you can specify 14 headlines and 4 descriptions, but only 3 headlines and 2 descriptions are visible at any given moment. Google just rotates the headlines and descriptions based on performance and sort of mix and matches them together to get the highest click-through rate, the highest performance. So this is quite good for you because you don't have to worry about nailing the ad, although you do have to think about what headlines to use. While creating the ads, you will see how it looks on the mobile or desktop device. You can switch it here, but you more or less can understand how the ad will look like when people search for it. Now, if we go back to our template, we had the ad groups. We had a specific ad groups for specific model, 14, iPhone 14, 15, and sort of a general ad group. Now we need to write ads for these keywords. And this is where this template sort of comes in handy because you see just above what keywords are in the ad group and for which keywords you write the ads because they have to match, right? They have to talk about the same thing, right? So if someone enters iPhone 14 cases, they have to understand that the ad is about for iPhone 14 cases and the landing page is also about that. So you do have what you advertise. So this makes it a lot easier because you see the keywords and then you can write a bunch of ads. I have here only several headlines, not 14. The first headline, which is stylish iPhone cases, you have the length right here. So you see none of them exceeds 30 symbols. Same for description. I have a bunch of other, marketing phrases up to you. Usually something like get something or download something or, amazing or new or whatever, right? So this is all marketing things and you can include in the headline. Of course, think about the product features, your benefits, the business benefits, why and how, and all of the copywriting things that you can think of, you can add in the headlines. Same goes for the other ad group, which is about iPhone 15 cases. You can basically copy the ads, just replacing the 15 instead of 14, because you don't have to be that creative. If the ad works, it works. I mean, first things first, you have to tell the person that whatever they search, they can find on your website. And you have the general ad group again. You can copy the ads, use the same text, just remove the model, right? So you have descriptions and you can expand a little bit more in descriptions about either your product, its features or benefits, or your business, how awesome it is, how this customer support is amazing, or free shipping or whatever. So this is why the description is there. You can expand a lot more on whatever your offer is. And of course, you have the landing page, and the landing page is a place where people land after clicking the ad. So this has to be a specific page where the user does not have to look around too much to understand what they landed. If you will land them, for example, on a homepage. Now, in this case, on the e-commerce site, if you have them on a homepage, there's a bunch of other categories. They will just get lost and they will click away, and you wasted a click. You talked about that in the ad. Land them on the iPhone 14 cases category. Same goes for iPhone 15 cases category, and so on and so forth. You need them to land exactly where they expect to land because your ad set an expectation or what they will find on landing page. Once you have ads right here in a template, it will just copy paste them in account. I'll show you later when we're creating your first campaign. You'll see how easy it is when you have everything done in the spreadsheets or anywhere else where you feel comfortable with. Now let's talk about campaign structure example and best practices. When creating campaign structure, grouping keywords into ad groups and campaigns, think about these. Don't add a lot of keywords into one ad group. Start with about 15-20 keywords per ad group, no matter the match type. Try to separate different services or different products into different ad groups so you can write better ads that correspond to those keywords. One responsive search ad is enough for a smaller account. If you have a lot of impressions and clicks, you can write 2 ads and see which one performs better. As for conversions, Google says that you need minimum 30 conversions per month to go for CPA bidding. And we'll talk about bidding later on, but like it's an automated bidding. You need minimum 30 conversions. I say you need a little bit more, 50, maybe even 100. And don't make too many campaigns. You don't need campaigns unless there's specific reasons. A common question is like, how many keywords should I have? And the answer is as many as needed for your business to make money. It can be just one keyword. It could be 5, it could be 100. Of course, it depends on your budget. So you can't have thousands of keywords. You have just $1,000, but try to get as specific keywords to your business as possible and try to add them and test them through. If you can't afford to test them within the first month, test one batch of keywords 1 month, the other batch of keywords the other month, but try to go through all the keywords possible to see which one converts for your business. And focus on quality, not quantity. It doesn't matter how much keywords you have. The matter is what kind of keywords you have. As we talked about before, the reasons you might split different campaigns or different ad groups, right? So first of all, it's you have one campaign, you have several ad groups, and one of the ad group eats all the budget, right? Because all the ad groups within the campaign share the same daily budget. And if you have one ad group that eats all the budget, there's nothing left for other ad groups. Then you might separate that specific ad group into a different campaign. Targeting options, daily budget options, spend options, bidding strategy options, these are on a campaign level. And if you want different keywords or different products or services have different bidding or budgets, you have to separate them in different campaigns. Locations and language settings, I mentioned before, again, a good reason to do a different campaign. And of course, you'll have products, services, keywords that perform differently, have different margins or different revenue metrics. You may want to separate them as well. For example, having like a good performing keywords that generate most of your value in one campaign and have bad keywords or keywords that are more expensive. The cost per action or cost per conversion is more expensive. You can have them in another campaign with a separate budget. So this is a good reason to have a separate campaigns. Other than that, they should be under one campaign. Also, common question, should you have campaigns for different devices? And the answer is usually no. Like, you don't have to do that. There is a bit of adjustment I'll show later in campaign optimization. You can adjust or turn off the device, mobile, desktop, or tablet. You can turn it off or reduce the bit significantly. I'll show you how, and you don't usually need to separate a device in different campaigns. Let's quickly go over a few examples of the campaign structure. So we have an e-commerce store, again, with iPhone cases. I've mentioned that this is how it would go, right? We have iPhone cases, location, bidding strategy on a daily budget, not campaign level. I'll have a brand campaign separate from the main one. I have 3 ad groups selling each different cases for each different model. Exact match keywords. I'll have negative keywords like older iPhone models, just in case if Google decides to match it, right? So a 13, 12, and 10. I'll have accessory keywords such as chargers as well, because it also can match. Google can also match that as to my ads. I don't want that. I will have one ad, and I will have a landing page for that specific category. So people in the iPhone 14 case ad group will have a link to a category that displays all iPhone 14 cases. Same goes for other ad groups as well. If we take local gym, I'll have similar selection, similar structure. I have a gym, main campaign, also I have a brand. Then I'll have maybe a gym plus location keywords like gym in Manhattan, exact match as well. Then maybe try gym plus features, gym with pool, 24-hour gym and stuff like that, and sauna and everything. And then I'll have different keywords that basically mean the same. It's fitness, and people do search for like fitness club or fitness club near me. So I'll try that as well, depending on my budget and how much I spend on these. So I'll have a similar setup. I'll also exclude, for example, fitness and gym from either of the groups because I don't want them competing. I'll probably exclude big brand gyms. I don't want people searching for the bigger brands or chain gyms to click on my ads because this is not what I have. Similar setup for the ads, and usually the gym has a good homepage, maybe a pricing page or something like that. So homepage is more or less fine. Accounting for small to medium businesses. There are 2 services. They have 2 services, again, small budgets, less than 3,000 here, but again, it could be achieved with less than $8,000 as well. So I have one campaign accounting for SMBs. I have the same one brand. Brand basically I do for all all the brands, unless there's a new brand, no one knows about it and no one's searching for that, then obviously you don't have to create a campaign just for brand keywords. Otherwise, I always have a separate brand campaign. And then I have a service-based ad groups, right? So I have accounting, bookkeeping, and payroll. So these are somewhat the same, but since they're two different words in general, I want to be able to use that word in the ad, which means that I need to separate them in different ad groups. So again, small business accounting and small business bookkeeping. So these are two, well, they mean kind of the same service, but they're people searching for them differently, which means that I want to show that in the ad differently as well, right? And I want to specify that in the ad. So I want to separate them. And of course, payroll is a different service, and I want to, again, specify that in the ad. That's why I create an ad group. At the same time, I will be using a different landing pages for payroll. So I'm assuming the company has a different landing page for payroll, and for like accounting, maybe other services, I want to use that as well. For this to happen, I can't have them in one ad group because I can only specify one landing page per ad. So if I want to use different landing page for this, I need to separate them into different ad groups. The rest setup is quite similar. As you can see, the pattern is quite similar for smaller accounts. You have one brand campaign optionally, and then you have sort of the main campaign with like the products or the services or the features within the ad groups, and that's how you separate the keywords. Conversions. Now, we talked about it. Conversions are very, very important. This is how you know if Google Ads is driving some kind of value, right? If you get the clicks only, or impressions, or possessions, or whatever people argue, doesn't really matter. Sure, it's a great metric to have. If you're not receiving impressions, there's something wrong with your keywords or your ads or whatever. You need to fix that. If you're getting impressions and you're getting clicks, great. Like that's the basic. Once you're getting impressions and clicks, meaning people clicking on the ad, getting on your website, you need to focus on conversion. You need to understand if those keywords drive conversions. So conversion is basically any action that you, as a business owner, find valuable to your business, right? We talked about it could be anything. It could be from, purchase to something like a page visit, right? Which is not recommended, but sometimes there's just nothing else on the page. It's just, like a homepage about us, about a company, a few services, and then contact us page, which contains a form, maybe a Google map. So this page is quite important. It's not a conversion per se, but if someone's landing on your homepage, they're visiting your contact us page, it shows that the person is more engaged. Why would someone go to contact us page if they're not interested in the company, right? They'll go on contact page, maybe fill out the form. If you do have a form, of course, the form is the conversion if someone fills out the form. If you have a phone number, make it clickable, and that could be a conversion. So anything that is just beyond a simple visit. A simple visit is quite similar to a click, right? A click happens, great. Someone lands on a website. Again, great, someone landed, but they need to do something. If they just browse around, they bring no value to your business. So identify an action or several actions that you can assign as a conversion. The reason for that is that you can't optimize a campaign without conversions. So again, we have clicks, right? Great, it's a lot of clicks. We have impressions, we have click rate, which shows how ads are doing, right? So you can see some ads are better, some ads are worse, some keywords have higher CTR, some lower. That is fine. We see the cost, all good. But which one of these campaigns, I'm sorry, I cannot show campaigns, but which of those campaigns are performing better? There's no way to determine. And that's why we have conversion, because adding conversion to the account helps us identify which campaigns bring value and how much we pay for that. So this is cost per conversion and the total amount of conversions. So we can immediately see that some conversions are way more expensive than the others. This is probably a brand campaign, so that's why it's quite low conversion. But in general, we can then see which campaigns, keywords, and ads perform worse or better, and we can take action. If we add additionally value, for example, e-commerce site or anything that sells on your website, a gym membership, for example, if you can add the value to the conversion, that's even better, because now you see your cost and you see your value. And you can see which keywords, how much they cost and how much revenue or value they bring, and you can identify whether it makes sense for you to continue advertising that keyword. Maybe reduce the bid, maybe pause the keyword. So then you immediately see actions that you need to take in order to optimize your account. It's not hard to add a conversion. The conversion is created in the account within Google Ads account, and then it needs to be added to the website. I would recommend using Google Tag Manager. It's a free tool from Google and it's easy to sign up. All it takes is just one snippet of code to add to your website. Most of the content management systems do have a place or an app where you can add Google Tag Manager or any scripts or snippets for that matter. But I do recommend having Tag Manager because it's easy to place all the scripts, all the codes, all the pixels within the Tag Manager and then control from there. It's like a central hub without having to add pixels and scripts and whatever to your website each time or asking your developer, right? So if you know what you're doing, add the Google Tag Manager, sign up for it. It's free. Add a tag, and you'll be able to add conversions within Tag Manager, and I'll show you how. It's very easy. If you want to create a conversion, click on Goals, and you'll be taken to the whole summary of a conversion. Now, I have several created already, but you most likely won't have any conversions. So for this, you just click on Create a Conversion and choose the source. Most likely it will be a website, but if you have an app, it can be an app, phone call, or import conversions from Google Analytics, which we'll talk about later in the video. So we'll select websites, enter our domain. We need to scan because Google scans for like the Google tag, and it may suggest the conversions, which we'll skip anyway. Add conversion manually. And this is the settings that you need to know. First, you need the conversion category, which is basically just a category. It doesn't play any role in campaign optimization, but makes it easier to understand how you group conversions, right? So if it's something like sales, you have your purchase, add to cart. If it's leads, you have contact, submit the form, and everything else. So we can select anything. You can change the name. It doesn't really matter. So submit a lead. Now you name your conversion. I have email subscribers, so let's go with email subscribers, submit lead form. Let me check if there isn't any. No, it's fine. Value. Now, value is optional. You don't have to provide it, but if you have a conversion and you know the value of, it is best to provide the value, or if you have an e-commerce site, the value could be provided dynamically. So I'll use the same value for each conversion. I'll say that it's worth, each email subscriber is worth for me in the long term $5, for example. And here I want to count one conversion. Now every conversion is, as Google specifies, usually used in the purchases, like online purchases, where a person can purchase several times, and they can pay. They can buy shoes, they can buy t-shirt, whatever, on even the same session or in subsequent visits. In this case, you usually subscribe to a newsletter once. So I'll select one. This goes for all the signups, registrations, where usually a person or a visitor can become a registered member only once. Now the conversion window, engage view conversion window, and view for conversion window, these are defaults. At this point, I would recommend leaving a default window right here. This is ideally based on your data. For example, your sales cycle, if it takes, let's say, 60 days from the visit to becoming a client, then your conversion window has to be 60 days. In some B2B niches, it takes a long way for the user to go through many stages, calls and forms and whatnot to become a customer. So this is basically a mirror of that cycle. Attribution, leave data driven, and enhanced conversion, something different. We're not going to talk about this at this point, but you don't need it for now. You click done. You have a conversion, you click save and continue, and then Google suggests how to implement it. You can set up it with a tag. You can email instructions to a developer if you want to, or ask them, but I recommend using Google Tag Manager. All you need to have is conversion ID and conversion label. So this is confusing because it just says email subscriber, the conversion name, but it is a conversion label. So now we go into Google Tag Manager, and you need to create a conversion on your website. So what you did here is you created conversion in Google Ads account, but it's not working until it's not on the website. Now Google needs to know when the conversion happened, and for that we use a Tag Manager. So click on New. You'll select Google Ads and Google Ads conversion tracking, and this is where enter your conversion ID. Just copy paste this. And conversion label. You don't have to fill in these. If you would fill in conversion value, it could be dynamic conversion value. This is a bit more advanced topic. We're not going to cover that, but it is possible to do that as well. We name the tag. Now, the naming convention as well, it's up to you as long as you know what it is exactly. So I do recommend specifying that it's a Google Ads conversion and what it is exactly as an email subscriber. And then we need to tell Google when a person becomes an email subscriber, like when to trigger this specific conversion. This, at least in my case, happens on the page. I have a thank you for subscribing page, and it has a specific URL. So I want to trigger the conversion when person visits this URL, right? When they subscribe to my newsletter. So in this case, our trigger is a page. So we need to select page view, some pages, and then define a page URL or page path in my case. So contains thank you for subscribing, right? And then I can say it's the page subscriber or something like that. So I know that I do have already created this rule, so I'm not going to discard that. So I have it right here in this one. So this is the trigger. And now if I save the tag, I copied the wrong ID, but if I save the tag, now all I have to do is submit or publish, right? Google. You have to name it, ideally, again, something that you change so you can easily track your changes in the Google Tag Manager. Now it's live and we can test it. Now you go back to Workspace, click Preview, and you can actually take the same URL, put it into preview mode, and as soon as it connects, you can go back and see the tags that fired. You'll see all the event summary that happened, right? From the initial consent, a bunch of different tags, and you'll see container loaded. And I see that there's a bunch of tags along my Google Analytics and Facebook and LinkedIn and whatnot. And I see our Google Ads subscriber. This is the one I've created recently, is fired as well. That's how I know it does work. So the tag works. That's it. We tested it. The information is there, and it will be passed to Google Ads as soon as someone converts or someone visits that page. So this is how easy it is to set up a conversion using Google Tag Manager. Now, the only thing you need to do is also set up a conversion linker, which is this. You don't have to do anything, just name a conversion linker. This is something that Google Ads requires. Conversion linker, name it this, and run it on all pages. So this is the setup. I already have it in my GTM account, but all you have to do is just save and submit, and that's it. So once you have that, the conversions will be passed to Google Ads, and now you have conversions in your account. Bidding strategies. There's several bidding strategies in the accounts. We'll talk about each of them, but before we do, there's some things worth discussing. And what you have to remember is there's no best bidding strategy. It all depends on many factors, and some of them are outside Google Ads in general, and some are outside Google Ads. So don't listen to anyone who says this or that bidding strategy is better. They had great results with that strategy. Amazing. You have to test to see if one or the other bidding strategy works for you better. So focus on conversions, not bids. Like, it doesn't matter how much you bid on the keyword or per conversion. What matters is, are you getting conversions for a specific price? So the cost per click can be $10, but if people coming in for those $10, right, and they're buying products that cost $500, that's kind of okay, right? The cost per click is irrelevant as well. People say, oh, I'm getting cheaper clicks or more expensive clicks. It's irrelevant. You can have cheap clicks, but no conversions or sales. Is that good or bad? You need to focus on sales, revenue, profit, conversions. Bidding strategies is just a tool to control the traffic. It won't help you to fix the account if you have bad keywords, if you haven't done research, if you have suboptimal account structure, shitty ads, or bad landing page. This will not be fixed by bidding strategies. If you're just starting and you have no data at all, look at other traffic sources. Like, if your website has been running for a while, you just haven't done Google Ads, then you'll most likely have conversions from direct source, or maybe Facebook ads, or just Facebook in general, or maybe Instagram, whatever the source. Take that conversion rate. If you don't have any conversions, you can Google industry benchmarks and try to be more conservative size. If all fails, you can guess conservative, right? For example, for e-commerce, the conversion rate tends to be from like 1 to 5%. The 5 being is very good. Of course, big brands like Amazon can have even higher conversion rates, so have that in mind on a conservative side. If you have leads, where people sign up in email subscriptions or registration on the websites, the conversion rate tends to be from 5 to 30%. Again, it depends on things like, do you offer free stuff for people to sign up, right? If you do, the conversion rate might be 20-30%. If you don't, it's like a big form where people have to sign up. The conversion might be 5%. So take that and run with it, and then as soon as you get conversions, you can adjust. Having the conversion rates will help you to calculate how many clicks you need to that conversion happen, right? So to get one conversion with 5% conversion rate, you need 20 clicks. And this is an indicator of how much one keyword should get clicks before you can say whether that's a good keyword or a bad keyword. Does it convert or not, right? So the average cost per click you can take from Keyword Planner tool. Of course, it's not inaccurate, but it's still something you can use. For example, if it's $1.5 per click, and then you can calculate how much your conversion will cost. So 20 times 1.5 is $30. If you have a conversion rate of 5%, you'll probably need around 20 clicks for the person to convert, or any people to convert, and it most likely will cost you around $30. This is managing your expectation, understanding how much it might cost. It might be lower, and it happens a lot that the numbers are lower because your setup is good, the ads are good, the product is amazing, or form is amazing, or whatever. You get higher conversion rate, cheaper clicks, and your cost per conversion rate is cheaper. But this is something to have in mind. Now down to the bidding strategies. There have several, right? The first one is the old one, the classics, manual CPC, where you control the bids for each keyword. Specify the bids and you control them, right? So you have to adjust the keywords, the bids on the keyword level. You have great control if you start with exact match and manual bidding. You know exactly how much you bid on specific keyword. It's great for new accounts, no data, for smaller accounts, for specific keywords, right? For specific niche keywords. However, it'll be more work. I kind of like it because you get your hands dirty and you learn faster with manual bidding and sort of going through keywords and adjusting those cost per clicks. Maximize clicks. This is an automated strategy where you specify the budget and Google decides how much the click costs. But for the Google, the goal is to get as much clicks as possible for your budget, which seems nice. But if you don't have conversion data, which means that Google doesn't know which click is better, it can really go off the rails and drive just various random traffic that will not convert. Google focuses on clicks no matter the quality. Sometimes, like if everything else fails and the campaign is not starting up, you can switch like temporarily for like a day or two to maximize clicks just to get things running and then switch back to manual CPC. It's fine to switch back and forth. It's okay. Maximize conversions. You have a lot of traffic and a lot of conversions. Now, how much? Again, Google says minimum 30, but minimum is not always optimum. So I would say 50, 100, maybe 150 per campaign per month. The more data you have, the better Google will adjust the bids and all the algorithm to catch the traffic that has a higher chance to convert on your website. So make sure you have a lot of data before trying any of the automated bidding strategies, including maximize conversions. Target impression share. This is where you specify the position and the amount of impressions you want to get. You can try it. Keep an eye on spend. It's not the best one for small to medium businesses. Target CPA. This is the most common, probably, automated conversion where you specify how much you want to pay per conversion, not per click. And then Google does the magic and adjust the clicks and whatever to get to your goal, meaning that you specify the amount of money you want to pay for each conversion, and then you leave Google to do the work. Again, I'd recommend to have more data, 50, maybe 100 conversions per month. You could start earlier with 30. But it might not perform as good as with more conversions. Ideally, you should test the conversion bidding strategies. Target ROAS, or return on ad spend. This is mostly used for e-commerce websites where you specify a goal of return, right? So how much you specify a percentage, how much return you want to on your dollar, say 5 times, right? So $1 to generate 5s back. It sounds really good, but it needs a lot more conversions than the previous bidding strategy, and it needs value to be passed into Google Ads, right? Along with the conversion, you have a value. So for example, e-commerce has different values, they have different pricing, different products, so you pass that as soon as the conversion happens, it is passed to Google Ads, and Google uses that sort of revenue data to find the keywords, bid on the keywords and whatnot. So this is great for e-commerce, although you need more conversions. Maximize conversion value, quite similar to previously, but this is where Google focuses on the value, so maximizing the value. It's good for scaling campaigns, again, just for e-commerce or any website that has value in it and a lot of conversions, a lot of data, because it needs a lot more data to work with because it focuses on value. So it's great for scaling campaigns, but just keep an eye on spend and the value, and always make sure that you're getting profit, not only revenue. Your last 2 points with new accounts: start with manual CPC, exact match, works great. Existing accounts, see what works better and test. For the conversion amount of numbers, Google recommends 30. I would say you need more. Again, you should test it. Now, if you had an account that had conversions before, those conversions can be used in new campaigns. So the conversions or the Google lands on the account level as well. So you can use those conversions that had previously data on new campaigns. That is fine. Remember that any automated strategy needs time to adapt. So if you increase the budget, decrease the budget, change the bids, if you're on conversion-based bidding strategy, ROAS, or conversion value, maximize clicks, each change will trigger the algorithm learning phase, and you will need to wait. The more you have conversions, the less you need to wait. For example, with 500 conversions, it might take a few hours. With less than 20 conversions, it might take up to 2 weeks. So have that in mind. And now you have everything that you need to create your first campaign. So let's head into the account. So we have everything we need to create a campaign. We have a structure with ads and keywords. All we need to do is create a campaign in the account. So we'll go into campaigns and we click on create new campaign. Always select the create campaign without the goals guidance, and we need to create a search campaign, which is usually the best one with a small or limited budget. Then we have a conversion, which we created, and you can choose it here or it will be chosen for you automatically. Click continue. You can ignore this, click continue, and name your campaign. Now, campaign name, it's irrelevant, but you do have to understand what it's in the campaign, what you're advertising. So I encourage you to use names that you or anyone else can understand, right? So we had iPhone cases, we'll use that. At this point, Google suggests the bidding options, then you can choose them here or you can change later. It doesn't really matter at this point. So let's just go with conversions. We're not going to do this. And we click next. Always remove Google Search Partners and Google Display Network. These should not be together. Display Network is something else, and since search partners usually do not perform that well, so with a limited budget, you usually exclude them. Then select your location. We'll stick to LA and then expand the location options and select presence. Now, presence is a bit narrower than the first one because it only includes people in the location or regularly in the location. However, this one, the first one, includes people that are interested in location. This is a bit broader. Choose language English. Since we're going to use keyword match types, we're going to select this because this is only for broad match keywords. Because remember, broad match keywords will get a lot of traffic and you need conversions to help Google to optimize your campaigns. We also turn off the automatically created assets. I like know what is created, so this is off immediately. And then we click next. We can skip the AI generation, we don't need that. And then we have our ad group. So we have ad groups here, we have iPhone 14, and we just copy paste, right? We have the ad group name, we have a bunch of keywords that are exact match types. We paste them here. I'll just use the existing random URL and we'll copy the ads we already have as well. As you can see, there's only a few required. We're not going to need all of the headlines just to save time, and we need descriptions. I'll just use 2 descriptions, it is enough, so you can see how the ad looks right here. You can change it to desktop view and see how the ad looks on the desktop as well. So the other things is Google recommends creating assets. You have image assets, business name, business logo, site links, and calls. I recommend adding all of them. The images are just basically images that you can add. It's for this group, it will be probably just iPhone cases images. I'll make sure there's no text and the images are good quality. As a business name, obviously you enter your business name here. Business logo, same. My logo is this one, but you'll add your business logo. Now, site links is like an additional links in the ad that are complementary to your main theme, which is basically iPhone cases. So you can have site links for different models here. If you have, let's say, different products or different categories, you can add them here as well. And then you have callouts, which are basically like short marketing messages, right? The deal should be like free shipping, money back guarantee, or like in my case, it's the experience, the countries I work with, or the budget I worked with. It's just like a small, quick, short marketing messages that appear on the ad as well. Now the assets are not appearing all at the same time, so Google rotates them. You're not responsible for that, but these definitely help your ad stand out. So when we're done, now the budget, Google will recommend an average daily budget, but make sure to calculate how much you can afford each day and then set a custom budget. Let's say $10 a day, right? So it will give you some estimates, how many conversions and what's the cost of it. For most part, if the account is new, I would take the numbers with a grain of salt. Well, Google checked everything and the campaign is ready to publish. You hit publish. Now your campaign is live. It might take a few hours, maybe a few days for the ads to get approved. So each ad goes through the verification process. So have that in mind. Just give it a little bit of time, but I do recommend coming back and checking on the account the next day just to see if the ads are running, if there's no any notifications or any policy violations. I would strongly recommend not to ignore any policy violations. If you'll get that notification, just make sure you read everything carefully before resubmitting your ad. If you violate the policies quite often, your account might be suspended. Once you have campaigns running, the next question is, what should I optimize? Where should I look? What metrics should I check? What report should I use? Well, let's head into account and see what you can do to optimize your Google Ads campaigns. Your campaign has been running for a while. You got some clicks, some conversions, and the obvious question is where to look and what to optimize. Now, the first thing is to understand if the campaign is converting. I have my past campaigns. Let's take this campaign. I advertised a little bit this software, so I have AI for ads group, just one group. We have a few hundred clicks. So these are my 3 keywords that had clicks. And the first thing is to understand if it converts, right? So you have the keywords, no matter the match type, you spend some money and say, okay, so it does bring conversions. So this is 8 conversions, 8.5 because of the data-driven attribution. That's how Google attributes credit to each keyword or each ad. And sometimes some keywords will get half of the credit because they do drove conversions, but not like the full of it. So you get a little bit more insights on how the keywords are performing. So you might not pause the keyword altogether, but maybe reduce the bit. But it drove 8 conversions, 2 conversions from this one, and as you can see, half the conversion. So it did contribute to at some point to a conversion, but not to like a full conversion. So then I look at the cost per conversion, right? So this is why the conversions are important. I look at, okay, so it's 50, 19, 45. The question is how much I can pay. Now, my ideal was about 20, so obviously this is okay. This is too high, but it's only half a conversion, but this is way too expensive, so I can reduce it. So things that if it's on manual CPC, I can reduce the bid and see what happens next. See if I can get a little bit cheaper clicks, but similar amount of conversions. So that's one thing. Review all the keywords and the bids if you're in manual CPC and see if there are keywords that are not performing compared to others, and maybe you can pause them or reduce the CPC bid. Now, don't pause keywords that have only few clicks because you know that it needs traffic, it needs clicks for the keyword to convert. So make sure you have enough traffic or enough clicks on that specific keyword in order to determine whether it's a good or bad. So this has 287 clicks. It's more than enough and has 8 conversions. So it is converting. It is not converting at the price I want. So I also can check the search term report I mentioned before. So this is a great source of keywords, but also a great source of negative keywords. So I can understand which keywords exactly converted. So I click on the conversion column and it gives me all the conversions up top. So I have 2 conversions that are really cheap from the keyword AI ad maker, ads AI maker. You see there's a common theme, ad maker, ad maker, ad maker. So this is something I need to think about it and maybe add those keywords to remove the first one and focus on the keywords that have ad maker in them, sort of in the phrase, so I can find more keywords. And this is one of the things I would do. Search terms and the bids and check if there are keywords that I want to bid on. So I'll probably include those and find more keywords that have a sort of ad maker theme. I can also look at what keywords got clicks but no conversions. So these are just random keywords. They don't have a lot of clicks for me to exclude, but I can look at some of the keywords to see if it's a great fit. This keyword has a free word in it. My tool that I advertised is not free, so I can remove that. I can select it and then remove as negative. I know that Ad Creative AI is a brand, so I don't need that as well. You see the CTR is pretty low compared to others, which means that people are not searching for what I have. They were searching for something else. Again, free. I can look at CTR to see if there is Ad Creative AI. Again, the same brand. It's a different brand, and based on CTR, I see that it's definitely not what they're looking for. I also look at CTR and the keywords, right? Text generator, again, free. So this is I would go through all the keywords and I add them as negative. These keywords will not trigger my ad. I'll save, $11, $30 easily, and this is how you optimize. You go through the list, clean it up, exclude into negative keywords, and see if there are keywords that you can focus on. Another place to optimize is you can check how your devices are performing. Like in my case, all the conversion came from computers, so I can just exclude the mobile phones and laptops by clicking on bid adjustment and then turning 100, increase or decrease by 100%, which means the ads will not be shown on those devices. Of course, check up on your ads. Now, my ad has a click-through rate of 8.4%, which is okay in most cases, but it can be higher. So in this case, I've mentioned that there are patterns of keywords that have ad maker, so I'll probably create an ad focusing on ad maker more. I maybe look at the keywords and see if there are keywords that this does not resonate too much. For example, here we have AI for Google Ads, it has 5% CTR, and this one has 8.5. So this is a lot lower. So maybe I will take this keyword and create a new ad group and put that keyword there and all the related there and create a better ads mentioning maybe Google Ads in the ad. So creating ads that directly match or correspond to your keywords is one of the best things you can do to optimize click-through rate, because people enter keyword, they see the ad, it's quite relatable, and they click. I mentioned assets while creating the ads, but this is where you find all the assets, so make sure you create as many assets as possible or applicable to a business, because not all of them will be applicable, obviously. Once you have more traffic, you can try experiments, which is a built-in tool to test things. So if you have a lot of conversions, like you start on manual bidding with exact match keywords, and if you want to test automated bidding strategies, make sure you use experiments. It's easy to create, anyone can do it. Just don't switch the bidding strategies on the working campaign blindly. The other thing, you have to turn off any auto applied recommendations from Google. So click on admin account settings and find auto apply. Make sure, go to apply settings and make sure all of them are turned off. This is key because it will apply random things to your campaigns and it usually performs worse than it used to. Sometimes it is not worth competing for certain keywords. Like if you notice that the keyword is not performing well or it's expensive, there are no conversions, you can always check who else is bidding on that keyword along with you. So select all keywords on one keyword and click on auction insights. And I can see that Ad Creative that I mentioned before is a big company. Most of the competition is between me and them. So we have a few other competitors, but they don't have a lot of impression share, which means they're not competing a lot. But Ad Creative AI has most of the share, half of it, have all the impressions that my keywords can have. I have only 25%. So this is where you can see how many people are bidding on a keyword. And if there's a lot of them, you know that there's a fierce competition, and maybe you need to back off and find, well, less competitive keywords because you're on a tight budget. You don't want to compete with big brands that have, well, basically unlimited budgets. If you have a business that doesn't work on the weekends, it is maybe best to think about when the ads are running. So you can set up a ad schedule which helps you save another dime. So you can set up your ads running only from Monday to Friday, and they're off on the weekend. So you can do Monday to Fridays from 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. and you can save that schedule. So now you don't have to pause the ads and resume them every Monday. You know that the ads are running only on work days or on a certain times, and that on the weekends you're not spending money because there's no one in your office to take care of the clients, to answer the phone or answer the form or whatever, right? So you can save additional money, that's 2 days in the week, and use that money to spend on the work days. So these are the most important things you can do to optimize your campaigns. The main thing of the search campaign is keywords, and your job is to find good converting keywords. So you look at your initial list, if they convert. If not, see if they get enough clicks or impressions. If they did, then most likely it's not your main keyword, and you can pause it or reduce the bid. And then check the search term report to find new keywords, or keyword tool to find new keywords. And then you can slowly switch the keywords, I don't know, each month or each week, depending on the traffic, and to find the ones that convert. Once you found them, you can focus on CTR, you can focus on your landing page, optimizing that as well, because a lot depends on your landing page as well. Google can do so much in the account, but as soon as the traffic leaves the platform, goes into your landing page, that's your landing page responsible for conversions. So don't forget to fix it or update it, because neglecting the landing page usually leads to poor conversions. Now, having search campaigns mean a lot of manual work. You have to go through search term report, you have to add negative keywords, you have to optimize bids. That's what it takes to make it work on a smaller budget. It's harder because each click counts and each click costs, and you need to get results fast. So what you need to do is focus on the keywords, finding the right keywords and excluding the wrong ones. This is the best option to make search campaign perform better. And that was it. If you watched the whole video, hats off to you. I hope you know more about search campaigns after this video. I know we talked about a lot of stuff, and it is enough to create your first campaign and to make initial optimizations, but we only scratched the surface of what can be done. If you're interested to learn more, I have a 4-week course where we dive deeper into search campaigns. I will leave the link below the video. I would appreciate your support. If you love the video, please let me know in the comments or subscribe to my channel. Pleasure having you here. Good luck with your campaigns, and see you soon.